In the Tate LaBianca trial, the prosecution's final witness was intended to be Dianne Lake. She ended up being the third to last, with 2 psychiatrists to be questioned on the stand after. What's most interesting about Dianne Lake's testimony is that there does not seem to be any surviving transcripts of her time in court. Cielo Drive, the website, is one of the best websites out there to read about the Manson case, with many of the court transcripts available for free to read. There are multiple instances of certain parts of the trial that are missing through the transcripts, and this is also reflected there. The missing transcripts are also noted in Mike Stewart's digital versions of the court transcripts, which are actually available on Amazon pretty cheaply as of 2025 as I record this. There are few books that actually really speak on this part of the trial, with many seeming to skip through the legal happenings of the Manson family as a whole. Dianne Lake went on stand in November of 1970, but very little is talked about her time there. Susan Atkins doesn't mention Dianne Lake at all in her book Child of Satan, Child of God. Tex doesn't, understandably, mention Dianne going to court, and Jeff Geen only wrote that she was among the final witnesses for the prosecution. In her own book, Dianne wrote that a special hearing was done before the lawyers and defendants only, no jury, so that mostly the defense would know what she was going to say. She noted years later that it was clear the defense would try to make it seem like she was an accomplice with knowledge ahead of time of the criminal acts, as a way to eliminate her testimony. Dianne's testimony was the only real way to convict Leslie Van Houten for the murder of Rosemary LaBianca, as Dianne had seen Leslie burning items taken from the LaBianca household. Dianne's testimony was also used to help implicate Patricia Krenwinkel, as both Leslie and Pat had recalled stories about their crimes to Dianne. The defense tried to make Dianne appear as uncreditable because she lied a year before to the grand jury about knowing anything about the murders. Ultimately, this didn't work because the prosecutors at the grand jury were Vincent Bugliosi and Aaron Stovitz, of which Bugliosi was still the main prosecutor at the Tate LaBianca trial, and who Dianne was a witness for. Even further, in the court transcripts, it points this out too, that Dianne was a minor at the time, and any potential perjury charges would have only been seen in juvenile court. Even still, Dianne's testimony itself is missing from the court transcripts. Dianne's testimony ultimately helped convict Leslie Van Houten, who was originally sentenced to death in 1971.